Welcome to our presentation on why we believe productivity is slowing down, with a primary focus on looking at human capital and labour markets. We'll discuss various factors, including education, aging, migration, leisure technology, and labour market institutions. Our analysis will be based on the working paper, Why is Productivity Slowing Down?
In this diagram, we can clearly see a positive correlation between the cumulative growth in productivity and percentage point increase in the share of adults with at least a college degree. This is because, in theory, human capital allows an economy to grow. When capital increases, it leads to increases in innovation, social well-being, and equality, all of which contribute to an increased level of productivity. However, a decline in human capital growth itself is rarely seen as an explanation for the slowdown of productivity. This is because even for economies with high levels of human capital, a mismatch between supply and demand of skills can still exist. Skill bias in jobs pushes middle earners with education into lower income jobs and the gig economy. This mismatch leads to demotivation, which affects the worker's ability to perform as well as increases the level of employee turnover, decreasing productivity as a whole. When it comes to aging, studies fail to find any clear correlation between an increased average age for a population and productivity. Additionally, selection bias and generational effects make it difficult to determine the true impact of age on productivity. Whilst it may seem natural to assume a younger working population will have higher productivity levels due to being more physically able, older societies are more experienced and may also pursue capital bias technical change, leading to higher productivity and efficiency through faster adoption of automation. With all these things considered, the nature of the effect of an aging population on productivity is unclear, so we cannot conclude if this has a significant impact on the slowdown.
Next, we're going to be looking at migration. On one hand, the report found that immigration has been linked to a slowdown in labour productivity growth. This is because of the increasing supply of labour as more immigrants settle and start looking for jobs. Therefore, this potentially reduces investment in capital equipment and overall wages. On the other hand, this claim can be challenged. Immigrants have been found to be more entrepreneurial and innovative than average. As a result, it could have been a decrease in migrant employment that has slowed down productivity. Yet, studies suggest that changes in the share of foreign-born employees are not large enough to significantly affect TFP growth rates in the selected countries of the study, making migration an insufficient explanation for the labour productivity slowdown. In terms of leisure technology, the report has found that leisure technologies have rapidly improved, leading to an increase in time spent on leisure activities such as video games among young men. This could reduce participation in the labour force, as the labour force participation is a trade-off between consumption and leisure. This is also backed by findings that since 1978, productivity during leisure time has been steadily decreasing. This is related to the concept of the attention economy, which says that as R&D into leisure technology increases, there is lower long-term productivity growth and there is more harm of workers' cognitive abilities as they get distracted at work. Yet, it's unfair to argue completely against leisure technologies. These are the same technologies that have enabled hybrid working outside of the office, whilst commuting, travelling, or whilst you're abroad. This makes the overall impact of leisure technology on productivity quite unclear.
Labour hoarding is a practice where firms keep workers on the payroll despite falling demand in order to avoid future rehiring costs. There is a decrease in the separation rate whereby cheap, low-skilled workers are still employed. This contributes to a slowdown by maintaining labour inputs constant despite dropping out. It has been found to be a leading explanation for differences in labour productivity following the financial crisis across European countries. Higher wage flexibility leads to workers accepting lower real wages, and so the job finding rate decreases, meaning that the duration of unemployment decreases as well. This is good for the government, as the opportunity cost of given transport payments is removed, as money can now be spent for investment. The decline in job reallocation due to increased regulation may decrease productivity growth. Non-compete and no-poaching agreements also have a noticeable effect on wages, but a concrete evidence regarding productivity is lacking. Digital labour markets have mixed effects on productivity. On one hand, the gig economy can be detrimental due to lower rates of investment and skill accumulation. As seen in the solar model, lower investment means a lower steady-state level of capital and thus lower steady-state level of output per capita. Also, in the Roma model, the lack of investment in skills will impact the growth rate of the total factor productivity parameter. However, on the other hand, these markets can also improve utilization rates for services, enhance skill matching, and reduce hiring costs. All elements of being productive efficient.
In summary, education is not a significant explanator, but technology has disrupted labor markets and may impact TFP growth. Aging is not uniform across all countries, so it is not a complete explanator. Leisure technologies is under-researched and has an unclear impact on productivity. Labor market changes and digital markets could be plausible explanation due to the evidence supporting it. However, it may not present the full picture. Furthermore, a slowdown in the reduction of discrimination may have contributed to the productivity slowdown. And finally, better allocation of human resources was responsible for between 20 to 40% of the increase in market output per person between 1960 and 2010. In conclusion, while there are several factors affecting productivity growth, none can solely explain the global slowdown. The interplay between education and skills, aging populations, migration, leisure technology, and labor market institutions all contribute to the observed trends. It is essential to acknowledge the complex nature of productivity growth and consider multiple factors when trying to understand and address the productivity slowdown. Further research is needed to evaluate the impact of these factors and develop effective policies to boost productivity in the future.